Hmm. Hello, beautiful souls and awakened boss ladies. Hello, hello, hello. We are here as we are every Tuesday in our session, which is Awakened Boss Lady Confessions of an Awakened Boss Lady. My name is Patty Ferreira. I'm your intuitive success catalyst, here to serve you powerfully with a brand new teaching, a brand new guest, a beautiful awakened boss lady. As you know, we're here to provide an opportunity for giving back, for demonstrating our strength in our struggles, our breakthroughs in our breakdowns. And I have with me today Diana Castro. Hello, Diana.
Hello, beautiful people. Hello, Patty. Thank you.
Hello, hello. I'm so excited. I'm going to start by welcoming everyone that's on here. And as you come in, please share with us that you're here. Send us a message, give us some, you know, just share that you're here. We're on StreamYard, so we may see your messages, but we want to make sure that everyone feels invited and included. So if you can send me a yes or an emoji, that would be great. Yes, I am here. Yes, with you. Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for showing up with us. So, Diana, first of all, welcome, welcome, welcome. Deep bow to you for finally making it on here. I know I've been trying for months to kind of coordinate our schedules. I'm so glad that we're finally here. I'm kind of sad. I do want to say that there's a part of me that's a little bit sad because I could see your face and our ladies can't see how far along you are in your pregnancy and in your term. So
Oh, but we can make that work. Like, just we can make anything happen. We're that cool. So let's
look
see.
at you. Oh my God, Diana, look at how beautiful. Many blessings. Mama Bear having, this is your third, is that correct?
Yes, this is my third queen.
Your third queen.
Mhm.
So we already know it's a beautiful baby girl. The third in line. Do you only have three children? Tell me. I know people want to know.
Yes, this is my third. Please, Lord. I surrender, but if I could have it my way, please let this be the last. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I could feel that. I have three as well. So I know what that feels like. And I'm like on the other spectrum of your three, right? What are the ages of your children?
I have a 12 beautiful, amazing queen, my oldest, and I have an 8-year-old who is just a copy paste of my soul. And then I have this beautiful new brand spanking amazing beautiful soul that is coming to earth.
This
So
is beautiful. This is powerful. Like they're several years apart, so they're able to experience themselves almost in mentorship roles, right? Because they're older than the baby. The 12-year-old is gonna be pretty much feeling like Mama Bear herself.
yeah, so it's this is like the unknown part, like dancing in the mystery for me, in the sense
Yeah.
that she is a miracle baby, in the sense she's like a surprised extra bundle of joy that the universe decided to gift me with. And Daniela and Sophia are so far apart, and now we get to have, like, she comes to, like, now she has a cat at home, and it's like it's like everything's so different, where I'm in a different space in my life, in my marriage, so it feels like a complete, like, total rearranging of energy in my house. Of It's just beautiful, so I
I
feel very.
love it. I love it. And I really wanted to I feel like you could tell how much I was inviting you to consider coming on and how much I was strongly recommending you coming on and yeah, kind of calling you in because I feel like the frequency and the transmission and the
Yes.
vibration that you could offer is different, right?
Yes.
And new, and could add so much value to our mom entrepreneurs, right? Like we have older mom entrepreneurs like me. My kids, my baby turned 30 last month. And I did it a little bit differently because my kids are literally like, I have a 33-year-old, a 32-year-old, and a 30-year-old. So when they were 5 and 4 and 2, it was wild, right?
And they're all boys.
No, I have a girl in between. So
Oh,
it's
okay.
two
You have a
boys. It's like I have a sandwich, two boys, and then the girl in the middle. And that was like a wild ride. And you've paced yourself where they're kind of far apart. And I feel like there's different ways of doing it for everyone. And what really lands for me is the opportunity for us together to deliver the message that it gets to be done. You can do it. You can have children. You can have a beautiful relationship. You can have a wonderful career. You could have health. You could have all of it. And part of what I teach here is for a woman to learn how to have all of it and stop the settling, the sacrificing, the scarcity, right?
Mhm.
The strategizing where, if I want this, I can't have this. And that's something I'm excited that you'll be able to teach us
I
and
love
share
it.
with us today.
Yeah. Expansiveness over restriction. I love it. Let's do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, that's beautiful. So you're already doing it by just being here and by sharing this piece of your, personal life. So thank you for that. I want to tap into knowing a little bit more about you on a maybe professional level, or how you contribute nowadays. Like, what are you passionate about? What are you creating? We've shared your bio. The women on here have seen a little bit about you, but we want to hear from you. What's really lighting your fire nowadays?
So what I was born to do, what my
Mm,
passion, it's truly my vocation, my passion, my mission is to amplify the voices of those who are doing good in the world by um,
mm,
the power of video. So through the power of video, creating legacy, top of mind, personal branding, create waves and tsunamis of inserting ideas in people's brains to
yeah.
amplify, to bring those ideas that are life changing, those ideas that give us hope, give us light, give us freedom. Um, People who are contributing to the space of living more abundantly in every
Mhm.
area. So I work mostly with coaches, speakers, thought leaders, trainers, authors. Those are like, I've noticed the pattern of those who feel called to be with us, to create consistent content so that they can, you know, get more reachability and amplify their signal. And that's what I live for. I love being surrounded by people who challenge the status quo and um, who serve a higher level of consciousness. So it just feels good to be able to do that and learn every day and just be
Yeah.
surrounded by greatness. So yes.
Wow, that's beautiful. I mean, what I'm hearing from what you're sharing is the richness of being in the room with these folks a that have answered the soul calling to move into higher visibility, to get out of their own way and share their opinion, share their truths, right? Which is usually, in my opinion, one of the hardest things, right? We could be very good at what we do, what our mastery is, and bringing language to it and showing up fully self-expressed and fully authentic in our truth is a step inward, right? A step upward to that visibility. there's a piece that I want to highlight from what you've shared, because I hear what you've shared and it sounds like a whole lot. And I want to let you know that I recognize and see the power of your work through the support that you gave me when I
Mhm.
started. I mean, I remember when we first met, it must have been 2017, maybe 2018. I don't even know. But it was very early in my career as a coach. And I had not really found my voice yet.
Mm.
And I remember the series of videos that we did. Do you remember those? I had my
I
hair was
cannot
like,
forget. I mean,
right.
hello.
I had just cut off all my hair. I had done like the big chop because it was like, it was right after my mom had passed, and I felt like I needed to get rid of that hair, and I had cut my hair really low, and I was starting my coaching business. And you came in and helped me find my voice, helped me find my brand, helped me find my story, helped me find the golden thread of the value that I can give to this world. So I hear you sharing how you do this work, and I hear you sharing that you work with all these folks that have and want bigger visibility. And I also see you supporting the new person on the block and really
Yes.
holding their hand with compassion through just being able to show up in front of the camera. I remember me saying to you something like, Diana, I can't even speak to this like little green blue button. I don't even and you were like, Patty, forget about it. Just I'm gonna sit right here and act like you're talking to me. Do you remember that?
Of course. And I think it's like everyone, I truly believe that everyone gets to
Mm,
honor the place and the season of their journey. Um, and with that comes the responsibility that you have to those that are looking for you, but they don't know you exist.
yes.
So, and everyone starts not knowing. Everyone starts with the first step. Everyone starts in zero, and it's just acknowledging that you get to start from that place and that it's
Yeah.
beautiful. There's no right or wrong. It's just showing up. It's just showing up. That's what matters.
Yeah, I love that. I love that because what I feel is your ability to help people, like I'm very visual. So I'm like seeing you kind of walking through dark houses and just turning on lights, and that's what you do. What are you? I'm a light worker, and I turn on other people's lights and I just help them get out of their own way.
Very selfishly, like, and for what's in it for me is that I get to learn so much through everyone. I get to be part of someone's legacy. Like,
Mhm.
just imagine years from now when you have great grandkids and they go back and they search for you and with all this new information, and in the world that we live with, just digital, and
Yeah.
having a digital footprint where people can find what you did, what you were about, how you contribute, how you showed up. So for me, video is just this beautiful, most powerful medium. And in my eyes, those who want to do good in the world and underusing it for the
Mhm.
most part because they're afraid of, you know, or they, they're working through the things, and then in the other side of the spectrum there's people who are using it for not so good reasons.
Yeah.
So it is our responsibility, it is our calling to bring light forward, to
Yes.
shine it through, to really own our message and to own our mess, and just to be able to show up for you, for the generations to come, and for the consciousness of humanity
Oh
to
yeah.
be fueled with your fire. So it's just like, to me, this is like the funnest thing ever. I get to do meet people, and I get to do what I love, and I get to like make impact in
Mhm.
a way that I piggyback of everyone's like message, and it's like, yes, it's just addicting. I love it. I love what I do. I
I
couldn't
love it.
do
I love it. This is the frequency. I feel it. I feel the transmission of, what it feels like when you're really tapped into purpose, when you're really tapped into passion, and when you're, connected to the highest potential for all. And that's what I'm feeling and what you're sharing. So thank you so much for that. Can we get in a little bit closer? Can we get in behind the veil now?
Let's dive deep, sister. Let's do this.
Let's do it. I want to hear a little bit about who Diana is
Ooh.
beneath and behind the veil. Like, if you could answer, if you really knew me, you would know dot dot
A
dot.
deep question. Because in
Yeah.
the past years, I've been doing a lot of personal digging to that. Um,
Hmm.
and what has come true to me is that I am an expression of God's love. That's my essence. That's who I am. And how that is manifested through this physical body is I am, and now like bringing it a little bit more, not esoteric, like I am a lover of all things holistic. I
Hmm.
am, um, I am addicted to freedom. I am addicted um, to joy, to light, to full self expression, to growth, uh, to wisdom. Wisdom is something that I seek. Is
Yeah.
like something that I feel cold, like I feel too leaned in. I am a mother. I am a queen. I am a wife. I am a daughter. I am everything. I am light, and I'm also darkness, and I am freedom, and also I'm also there are parts of me who have dark, and it's all beautiful, and there's nothing wrong with it, and I get to live this human experience from a fulfilled full access to everything. There's a lot to be unfolded. I could go like deep into like every direction, but I love goofiness, and I love spontaneity, and I'm a creator by far. Like, it's one of my biggest gifts in the
Mm.
world. Like, I think I sneeze and something's created. It's like it's like I'm a walking machine of creation.
I
But
call it the popcorn, right? The pop, 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 pop,
it's
pop,
like
popcorn.
I yeah, and I'm a giver, and I'm everything. I'm just as human as everyone else, and I'm just as flawed as everyone else, and I get to just hug it all, and welcome it with open
Yeah.
arms. So, I mean,
Wow.
we could get a little bit more poetic, and we don't have time for that. So, but
Well, I'm loving what you're sharing because, there's I feel the expansiveness of who you are in how you're sharing, right? So I feel the expansiveness of like the depth, right, of the roots of who you are. And I also feel the elevation of who you are. And that's a beautiful thing to showcase, right? Because a lot um, of our humanness teaches us to live in a very confined version of ourselves, right? And
yeah,
for you to be able to show all of these different, colors and textures and realms of yourself is beautiful. So big and, like, deep bow for that. And there's a piece that I want to highlight because it matters so much to me and it really touches a resonance, right? It's a key that is right on for me, which is the first thing you said, freedom.
hmm
Like, I identify with freedom as a very strong value and a very strong principle for me. And it's very much like the thermometer for me. Like when I'm going to make a decision, I'm like, how much freedom is there in that? Like, how much freedom? How high can I fly? How much, I call myself a lifestyle entrepreneur because I live my life and my business is part of it, right? And it's all about being free. And the reason why I highlight how you said it and how much it matters to me is because there was a time in my life where even claiming wanting to be free was an interpretation of being lazy, of
Wow.
being, you know what I mean? Like, I'm much older than you, right? But it was like, those are the parts of life that you may not get to touch as often, right? Because we were chained to a job, we were chained to a perspective, we were chained to a circumstance, right? And the understanding was that that kind of needed to live its term out versus us driving the bus.
Yes. Yes. It's like I also did the corporate world at some point in my life, and I remember feeling coming home and feeling trapped and feeling like there's part like I would come home crying. One of them, which I now connect, is like at some point within my corporate life, I was creating content where I felt like I was dumbing people, that I was contributing, I was adding content. Like, just to give you an example of the context of it, I was doing video on demand at that time.
Mhm.
And video on demand was like what people paid to watch. So it was, and it was kind of like to give people um, like Jerry Springer stuff, like the stuff that never made it to TV. And throwing up and feeling
Oh
sick
my
and feeling
God.
so like I was born for something bigger and I'm intoxicating people. I felt responsible for, and I think like as part of my journey and my path, now in retrospect, and why I love what I do so much now, it's just kind of like I get to make up for all the shit that I put in the world behind. It's just knowing that my soul was suffering, like I was in pain because um I
Yeah,
believe that what we consume, like when they say what you are what you eat,
yeah,
or but that also happens with our mental body, like what are
yeah,
we putting in?
yeah,
And I was helping feed people this yuckiness of normalizing what's not supposed to be normal and feeding them with this stuff that was really healing their soul. And I didn't know it. Like I didn't make the connection, but I would come home like sobbing and I didn't feel right. And eventually I grew out of that project, thank goodness. But still like feeling like my soul was trapped,
yeah,
and hearing people say things like, oh, but this is the way it is. You just, like you
yeah.
just this is
No,
the way
no,
it is. And like, and I would be like, no, like why this is the way it is. Like I'm like living in a nightmare. And then people are like, I've been here for 20 years and like it doesn't get any better, sister. And I'm like, no, wake me up. Until like
yeah,
what we get to choose ourselves and to step into, like into trust, into faith,
yeah,
into there must be something better. And I refuse to accept this reality.
I
So
love that.
I see you. Yay.
Yes, this is huge. And this is exactly where we want to be right now. For those of you that are listening, please share your comments. If you hear this later, please share with us hashtag replay, because me and Diana want to kind of feel you as you're experiencing this share. And if any of this is resonating with you and you feel that there's a part of you that is
Oh
being
yeah.
spoken to, please just DM me, reach out. We can have a conversation around how much this is who you are, the not who you are, the life you're living right now, because it's never who you are. It's who, the trajectory that you're presently in. So I want to go into more about our theme today. Today, Diana, and I didn't share this, so this is gonna, I can't wait to kind of get into it with you. I want,
Uh-oh.
our talk is about generational and multi-generational um, conditioning
Okay.
and ancestral uh, chains, let's call them. And I want to kind of look at it from a lighter perspective, right? You know that I do a lot of trauma work. I help women through shadow work. And there's parts of our experience that we're able to connect with from just a conversational aspect. So I wanted to hear from you if you're able to connect to things that you know are multi generational, things that you know you learned from your mother, from your parents, from your grandparents, that you know have helped you in your lifetime, and aspects that you know have maybe hindered you in this lifetime, right? We all have we all have different skill sets, and a lot of them come from what we've learned from those that have been our caretakers. So I'd like to see if we can kind of find the thread there. Is
Yes.
there anything you could put your finger on
Yes.
that helped you?
There's tons of things. So from my father, he's a bright man. He only went to fifth grade, and he lived a very uh hard life. Like he the half of his bottom part his legs got burned when he was 5 years old. So he was taken to the hospital, and because my grandma could not pay the medical bill, he was abandoned at the hospital. And he couldn't walk for a very long time. So when he almost was abused by a priest inside of that hospital, and he fled, um, like kind of like he fled the place, kind of like dragging his feet, like because he couldn't walk. And when he came back home, he discovered that his dad had abandoned his mom for another lady and moved to the house that belonged to my grandma in front of them. It was just like really cruel, but he had to go to school, um, like when he was way older and being like fifth grade. And when he was like, and he smelled bad because his wounds were not being clean. And so he had a really hard life. But my dad was brilliant. He only went to fifth grade. He learned how to read on his own. He learned how to play music on his own. He built his own car. Like he built a car. I have pictures of my dad made his own car. He is a searcher. He is a creator. I can only imagine what his future could have been if he would have been
Wow.
given the opportunities to. He's like an engineer mixed with like a carpenter mixed with like a musician mixed, like he's like a multi creator. And he's very resilient, and he is very positive. And so from his hard life, or from he who he is, um I can see how my playfulness and my creativeness was passed down to me, and I so appreciate that. And on the same token, because he had to live in so much misery, his relationship with money and with abundance, and how he spoke about um, being able to access wealth was
Yeah.
very limited. So that was also passed down to me. So from my mom's side, it's more of like she is a wisdom, like she is embodiment of wisdom and nurturing, and she was resilient, and she did not subscribe to the status quo. So i I see so much of them in me, in and from for her it was like sometimes she um eats up all her emotions, which
Yeah.
is not necessarily me, but I can see how in one of my in one of the processes in which I was doing healing work, I
Mhm.
was able to sense her pain and like let it out. So I could, yeah, like it's just part of how we grow and how we heal. So it's more of she's a giver, and I learned that from her. So there's a little bit of both in me.
Yeah.
Uh, and yeah, like, I don't know what else to say. I'm like, I went deep, and I went on my dad's side super deep, but he,
Yes. But
yeah,
listen, first of all, thank you for sharing such a deeply, deeply inspiring story. And thank you for feeling safe and being so vulnerable to share. This is huge. And you know, I love how you've showcased exactly the theme of this week, how we can find the threads of our roots and see which is, light and which is shadow. It doesn't mean that it's wrong or right, bad or good. It's us recognizing these threads within us and really having the perspective and the consciousness to determine if it's life giving or if it's playing small, right? And from that awareness, choose to do our own work, right? And you explained it in the story. You shared your ability to connect,
yes,
creativity, your ability to find the thread of resourcefulness and resilience and creativity that lived in your father, and you also connected to scarcity. And in seeing the impact of these two threads, neutral, I have this one and I have this one. This
hmm,
one is life giving. This one is keeping me small. You were able to move into doing your work.
yeah.
And that's exactly what this is about. It's the ability to demonstrate to other women that we all are all of it, light and shadow, and we get to come inward and do the work that allows us to step into a higher trajectory. So you did it so perfectly. Thank
10
you so
points.
much.
No, I'm just kidding.
You're like me. Can I get an A? Can I get an A?
Okay,
So
check. What
yes,
else?
this has been so juicy. I feel like we need so much more time, and I do like to keep us within 35, 40 minutes. So I want you to have a moment before we go, to share with us maybe um, a thought, or sometimes it's a quote,
Mm,
sometimes just something that is really a guiding light for you throughout your days. Like, here you are, you're running a multi six figure business, you have children, you have a relationship in your marriage that's sacred, and what is the thing that you're holding on to as your guiding light? Maybe share that with us.
I didn't prepare for this answer as much as you. And because there's so much wisdom lately. And I guess what's calling me forward is what I've learned this year has been more towards um, learning to hug it all, learning to value the light and the shadow,
Mm,
and that if we truly believe that everything, and I mean everything, is here to serve us, um, even the parts that hurt are just asking for our attention. Like, even the parts that don't feel good, they're loving us in their own magical, miserable way, if we can say that. Um, and having the discernment to just sit still in those moments when things are might not be going our way. It's like an alarm that is just letting us know this is not for you, or this is not
mhm,
the path, or there's something greater. And it's something that happens to us often, but we focus on trying to avoid it sometimes,
Yeah.
um, to our own disservice. And I don't know who in the other side needs to hear this, because I didn't even plan for this to be part of it. But if you are in that space, um, you will be okay. Everything shall pass, and um, there's no point in fighting it. If it's there to serve you, is there to guide you, and how can you use that fertilizer so that you can stick it to the man, basically use that to make, to be better, to grow better, to show up better, to, even though we don't understand it, even though, like, even saying that, even though I don't understand it, even though I don't get it, like, I surrender. And that has been something that this year um, was given to me, and I can feel it in a different level, in a different space. And I guess that's it for me. Like, the one thing that I love is, that I keep repeating, is be the light you want to see in the world. Like,
Yeah.
be that of what you want to see more of. Because
Powerful.
that gets to be your seed, and that gets to be what we push out, the energy, the signal. So
That's beautiful.
that's
It's
it. There's
beautiful.
nothing more from there. There you go. But
I
moment.
love that you've shared this piece. It's a very powerful piece. And for those of you that are listening, a lot of what you've shared is about the power of self acceptance, which is a key learning and a key teaching for me in my signature work around tapping into the power of self. And within the power of self, this radical self acceptance, where we know that it's happening for us, where we could connect to all of it and say, and this too is divine, and this too is precise, and a precise piece of the bigger plan, is when we can really tap into our power through self acceptance. So I'm hearing that from you. I receive that from you. I love this as a ending message. And thank you so much for all the wisdom
Thank
and
you.
all the nuggets that you've been able to drop here today. I am eternally grateful to you. Thank you, sister.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you for allowing me to bring some of my not so common commentary online.
I know you're usually behind the camera, so I love to
Yeah,
see
I
you
do
here.
speak. I love being on camera, but like, I'm very focused on mission and legacy, and that I don't necessarily go here on, go sharing on the woo woo. I'm very, that I keep that to myself. But I love these conversations because they open the opportunity to find more humanity in us, and
Yeah.
so.
I love it. And we have one final comment that I know you'll see when you go into the group, but it says, God bless you and your baby.
Ah, gracias. Thank you.
Love you, Diana. Have an amazing afternoon. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.